episode sort of 2 of Your Thoughts podcast.
Welcome to Your Thoughts podcast, where we take your thoughts, or in this case, our thoughts today, we turn them into conversation, and then we talk about them, and then we have a good time, and then you listen to it. This is Jesse Martinez.
And Tyler Beck.
And we're chilling today.
We're chilling.
We had a good band practice yesterday, and then I was supposed to do a bunch of stuff this morning, and then none of it happened. So that's how life works. And so here I am doing this today, and this is number 2, and we have actual recording equipment, which is nice, and it sounds nice, and it feels nice, and
we've got some beautiful mic stands and some wonderful mics, and this
Zoom
recorder. There's a podcaster I listen to named Tim Ferriss who definitely recommended getting a Zoom recorder. That's what he uses.
Like this one here?
Yeah, like this one here.
Good.
Yeah, he's also got like some mic that you put the SD card inside it, and it's got batteries, so you can take it with you.
What? That's cool.
So like if you wanted to do an interview with somebody and you didn't have anything other than that mic, or if you couldn't get like an XLR cable directly into it.
Okay, so today I wanted to talk, since we don't have a sweet, super awesome guest, and it's just the two of us, we should talk about band stuff. And maybe people be interested in, what we view as a band, and how we work hard, and sometimes we don't work so hard, and how everything takes time and we're bored.
It is definitely a process, a very long, stressful, tedious process.
And, still love making music.
Yes.
Never gonna stop loving that. And every time we play a song, as tedious as it is.
I was actually thinking about it recently. Even if we never played a show again, even if we never made this album, what we do on Saturday, it's still appealing.
Oh yeah, I wake up every Saturday and just go, I can't fucking wait to get there so we can jam, at least jam.
Having the creative outlet and actually playing music is awesome.
It gets me through the week, and I can be creative at work. And when I'm, banging my girlfriend out, I can be creative then and do creative things. So yeah, definitely. And I don't know, I want to make the album. I don't think we're not going to make the album, and I don't think we're ever not going to play shows again.
I think it's just going to take time, and I think we keep trying to set these deadlines that are very...
Yeah, fuck a deadline.
We underestimate how much time we actually need for learning.
It takes a really, really long time. And we're doing it. And we're doing something, It's more than a lot of people can say about their entire lives. We want to dedicate more time to it, but we dedicate as much time as we possibly can without, not making money and having other lives aside from that. And we got bills and we got to fund it somehow,
Yeah.
Like, nobody's giving us money. We tried that. Nobody gave us money.
That's not true. We made like $100 on a Kickstarter campaign, but that was not as thought out as it needed to be. That was all or nothing, and we lost that money.
We didn't get all, so we got nothing. It's exactly as
everybody got their money refunded.
Yeah, they were like,
we should have gone for Indiegogo.
Where did this $100 come from? Oh yeah, they fucking failed hard. Nobody wanted to.
I think we made more than 100. I think it was like 200 maybe.
Yeah.
But that was. I think we have a lot more to show for what we have now. If we could get decent demos out, maybe we could convince people to fund us. I would
love a good, decent demo. And if we use stuff like we're using now, we might actually be able to make some decent DIY demos without, professionally recording them, and then show people. But we got to get our BPMs right and everybody playing together, which means more practice at home. Because when you're in a band, about 50% of it is practicing on the days that you practice with everyone, and then the rest has to be dedicating every ounce of time that you have left to practicing on your own, because it's a job. It's fun, but if you want to make it a career, it's a job. You have to work, You
have to be disciplined.
Yeah, you gotta hurt, and you gotta be bored, and you gotta feel that inside when you play the same riff over and over and over again. You gotta feel that anger. It angers me sometimes, and I just want to fucking throw shit, but I don't, and I gotta keep playing it. And then, go to practice on Saturday, and I play that riff 1,000 times better than I did last week, and that's how it works.
You have to force yourself to slow it down.
Yeah.
Because we have some natural inclination to play fast.
Yeah, I think that's a human nature thing, and I don't know why, but yeah, we want to
play.
We
just want to go fast.
We want to play 160 BPMs to like 250. And we don't know why, and it sounds good, but that's not how we wrote the song. And then you're on 250, I'm still on 160, and then you're going faster than I am, and nobody's syncing up with each other.
I was listening to Existence yesterday. I sent in the band chat. I have written down 97 BPMs for that song, and I think whatever we recorded at for version 3 of that demo, I think whatever BPMs we used for that one sounds the most energetic.
Did we speed it up? Did we use a different? Did we actually?
We did
use
speed
BPMs?
it up. The other two demos that we have are slower.
Did we actually use a metronome?
No, probably not.
That's why we want to speed everything up. We want to be a punk rock band, and we're an alternative band.
But it sounds good.
Yeah, it does. It sounds really good. Fast songs sound great. They have a lot of energy to them, and we're just realizing that now because we wrote a bunch of slow songs that sound better faster.
I think we have to keep relearning that.
Yes, every time
when we write the song, we're like, "Oh, this sounds great." It could sound better faster.
We should just nip it in the butt and be like, okay, we wrote it. It sounds good. Let's speed it up and see if it sounds better. And it always does.
I think what we need to do is actually, when we're writing songs, we need to play with the BPMs, see what sounds good.
Originally, this is good.
Like even if you can't play it at that point, you can work up to it. Yeah. So if we have that in mind, maybe we could do it quicker, and maybe we could actually find the BPMs and stick to them better.
Like me in Betrayal, where I can't do that one fucking part. It's awful. But I practice it every day. I don't feel like I'm getting better, but I slow it down and learn that I need to tremolo pick. I'll definitely be able to get it eventually. Maybe not soon, but, it'll work.
For me, it's that part in LSD where I'm not tremolo picking, but I'm almost tremolo picking.
Yeah, I struggle with that too. Are you kidding me?
It's a very controlled, almost tremolo pick.
I don't get it. It doesn't fathom in my brain. I don't get it at all. And I slow it down, and then it's even harder when you slow it down because it's just like it's an up down, but it's not a tremolo. But you're doing it constantly, but it's still not that. It's like just under the line of tremolo picking, so it's
heavy
weird.
Control with the right hand.
It's awful. Stupid, and it should die, but it sounds really good, so we have to do it. Not rewriting because I can't do it right. Practice. That's what it takes. If you can't do something, keep doing it.
Listening to the demo of that one definitely put it in perspective how good that part is.
It's gonna sound good once we get it down completely.
Yeah.
Right now it doesn't sound great, but it has the potential to be a really good part of the song, and the song itself in a whole is really good too.
I was talking to Bowie last night about the songs. He wants to hear the demos.
That's good.
So I'm going to send them over to him.
Yeah, I mean he was a part of a lot of it, some of the songs. And
interestingly enough, he asked permission to use the parts that he wrote for other things, and that was
that's pretty cool.
That was really admirable. Like
a big boy thing of him to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. That's very nice. I don't see an issue with that. I mean, he did write parts of those songs, and we're not stealing from him. We took those parts and we made them our own. We used the premise of what he wrote because we all wrote on that.
Nick was there last night.
Yeah. Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He actually did show up?
Yeah.
You should have got the fucking book. That was a whole thing.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't understand.
Was she upset?
Oh my god, dude. Verge of tears, pregnant lady, like not getting her way. She needed to go shopping today. She's shopping right now.
What was in the book?
It was a shopping list.
Oh.
She worked 2 hours on that shopping list because she's got coupons online for Fry's because Fry's are doing the coupons things now, and she's got physical because they send them in the mail too.
Did you ask Nick for pictures?
Yeah, I got them, but she was in the middle of shopping when I got them, so I sent them to her. She was like, "All right, start all over. It's fucking stupid. You gotta save us money." But those coupons fucking work, dude. They're crazy. You could spend $300. You could buy $300 worth of food for like $150 if you use those coupons the way that they are. And the online version of it now, where they give you coupons online and you just put your Fry's VIP card in, and those coupons automatically go in.
If we're talking directly into the mic, it sounds clearer.
You mean like this?
Yeah, that's
where it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy clear.
All right, well, we're gonna try this now. Bear with us. We're learning. This is our second one, and our first with like the.
Yeah, this is a lot better.
Wow, that's crazy. You're right about that.
That's kind of too much, though.
We should have slight background music where it's just like really low.
I could do that.
Just like
well, the issue with that is if you're playing music, the potential for being taken off of YouTube.
Added it in there.
The music?
Yeah. Isaac does it all the time.
We could play our own music.
Yeah, we could edit our own tunes into the background. when we edit this, and then it's just in the background. You can hear us clearly and everything, but you just kind of also hear a good jam at the same time. It kind of makes it interesting. My buddy Red in my dishwasher at work listens to podcasts all day, like over the because their speakers are separated, and he'll plug in his phone to the aux cord in the back, and he'll listen to wrestling podcasts all day. It's crazy. That'll work.
It'll just be in the background.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. But yeah, he'll listen to them, and it's literally just them talking. There's no gags behind it, and that's cool. It gets straight to the point, and it's entertaining as much as you can be entertaining talking about wrestling.
Right.
But I think it would definitely spruce it up if there's just something else going on to focus on in the background. Something jammy a little.
The podcasts that I listen to are very heavily like philosophical based. A lot of things like a lot about perspectives on religion and about morality and what that means, and the concept of AI and what that entails for the future.
Scary stuff.
Interesting.
Very interesting, but we don't know because we've made some AIs. There's a slight amount of artificial intelligence in the world, but they're still limited. They're extremely limited because of the fear that everybody thinks that one day AIs are going to take over and we're all going to die. The Y2K thing,
Yeah.
And we don't know until we try.
Well,
they could be very beneficial, and also they could be, the extinction of humankind, or they could be just blech. Who gives a shit about AI? It could be anything. We don't know.
Well, there's the aspect of not preparing for potential dangers. That's one of the largest concerns is like, what if we don't actually prepare for things and then we unleash this thing that we can't control anymore because it's got its own language, its own way of thinking, right. And now
that's scary.
We made it,
yeah,
and now we're out of control with it.
You should always have a power off button. That
Well, yeah.
But
Neil deGrasse Tyson had a conversation with Sam Harris, and his answer to the situation was, "I'll just unplug it."
Kind of true, though, right? Like,
yeah, but I think this thing would be autonomous. Mm-hmm. So maybe different power sources. Like we're talking about in the future, obviously. Yeah. So,
right, you're using nuclear power, where you can't just shut that off,
or battery power.
Yeah, that too.
You can't just physically, if it's on the thing, or
are we talking about like a physical being, or are we talking about maybe like on our phones where we have Siri, and Siri's actually an AI where it can learn and think for itself? Because it
could be both.
That would need some coding, and it could put up its own firewall, and there would be some serious shit behind that.
What if this thing could control Siri and other robots?
It probably
anything
would.
Connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well then. I don't know. I mean, maybe
that would be cars now. Cars are connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Your coffee maker is connected to Wi-Fi.
That's crazy.
So this artificial intelligence decides, oh, I'm gonna fuck with everything just because I can. I like the reasoning is kind of vague, but
cheap beer and coffee go well together.
I don't believe you.
It's gross. It's disgusting, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, let's talk about memories back in the day.
But we listened to this song, Contrast Introspective. He actually really liked it.
Oh, good, yeah. I wrote this after he left, right?
No, you wrote it before.
Did he? Was that the last thing he was trying to work on? Was it
piano? Keyboard, I think,
right, yeah, he was trying to do keyboard.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some past stuff. We don't ever get to sit here and reminisce on, because me and Stumpy here, me and Tyler have known each other for a lot of years. And we kind of...
How long has it been?
10th
grade.
Yeah, I was in 9th grade, so
that was 2010. So 8 years.
Yeah,
holy shit!
For 8 years, that's crazy. And I remember we met in gym class at Skyline, and we were trying to give each other nicknames. And who was it? What was his name?
Tom.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah. I didn't even know
Not
Tommy.
Seguro or something.
Yeah.
It was something very close to Tom Segura.
That guy's awesome. And I didn't even know him. We were just in a circle together, and he started calling me Carrot Top.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I have.
You were also, what was the hat that you wore? You were called Kermit.
Yeah, I wore a Kermit the Frog hat.
You were called Kermit, and then we came up with Carrot Top.
Yeah, so I was Carrot. I didn't have red hair, but I guess, and I don't fro. It hangs down, you know. So I didn't understand it, but then I gave you the nickname Stumpy, and it very much stuck. And everybody in the entire world, including your parents, sometimes even call you that.
People I didn't even know started calling me Stumpy.
And then a few months
later,
I
would meet people who knew who I was as Stumpy, and I had never met them before.
That's cool.
It was very interesting.
I'm proud of myself for that. And then a few months later, I pushed your girlfriend down a set of stairs, and that was an accident.
Oh, yeah.
But I did do that, and you were mad at me. You pushed me through my backpack. You threw your backpack at me, and then I didn't talk to you for a week.
Then I punched the wall inside the 400 building and walked up the stairs, and then Tanner was like, "Are you okay?"
And I felt like a prick because I didn't mean to do that. You guys were kissing.
Yeah.
I was jealous.
Well, we had actually just broken up at that point. So it was like we were in between whatever that was, and we were kissing.
Yeah, it was I kind of ruined a moment, and also pushed someone down the stairs. I didn't mean to do that. I was an idiot when I was in school.
In retrospect, it was funny.
Yeah. Now that you think about it, it's just like I pushed Tanner Covington downstairs.
I definitely could have reacted better. I'm sure she does.
Oh, I gotta talk to her about that. I saw her on Snapchat. Yeah, good times, and then
I still occasionally talk to her on Snapchat.
Yeah, she's all religious now. Maybe not religious. She's not an atheist anymore, which I think is mind-boggling.
God got her.
Yeah. You old higher being. It's fun stuff. I've been talking a lot of religion to Shelby's mother, who's Mormon. And I was talking last night before I went to dinner with my grandpa. We were talking about why I'm an atheist, and she's very open-minded, and she enjoys conversations like that. And I found out that she used to be a drug addict, and she was a Mormon.
You just found that out?
No, I knew that.
Yeah,
but she was a Mormon throughout being a drug addict, or a drug addict throughout being a Mormon, and that definitely doesn't coincide well with the culture and also the
community.
It does not coincide well with the community, and so they exiled her, and she wasn't allowed to go to church and stuff like that. But I was talking to her last night and was telling her my ideas of atheism and how it makes me happier, and it doesn't make me a self-centered piece of crap where I think I can just rape and murder.
A lot of people that grow up with the religious perspective think that if you don't have those values put into you, then you don't have a sense of morality, which is not necessarily true, because Western society has like inherent, I don't want to say Christian values, but there are definitely Christian values within our society. Yeah,
well, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state, and that's just not the case. So it's intertwined with everything you do.
It's illogical to think that you can't find a sense of morality without religion.
Oh, it's crazy. Nobody wants. It's a blame game, because when you do something wrong, there's somebody to blame. When you do something right, even they can't even take responsibility for that. So it's there's something to blame for that too, and that's fucking crazy to me, because if you want to put it this way, I'm my own God. I don't think that way. I don't go around going, I'm fucking God.
I actually have the same perspective.
That's not the idea, but what I'm saying is, when I do something good and they say thank you, they're thanking me. That's who they should be thanking, because nobody was whispering in my ear going, hey,
God didn't will me to do this.
I did it because I have my own morals and standards in reality, and I use them to everybody else's advantage, and I'm a selfless person. I will do anything for anybody if they need my help, but I'm an atheist. If God has forsaken me for being an atheist, I am still doing well. Everything is going fine. And even if God did exist, to be honest, I wouldn't want to follow his lead in the first place. I would be a rebellious, a damned, I guess, if you would. I don't agree with it. Even if he does exist, his teachings, God, what are you, pretentious? You need everybody to follow you and love you? I don't give a shit if you created the world,
Here's where I slightly submit to the religious perspective. The concept of being a servant to existence itself does make sense when you think about the constant death and rebirth of what life is.
True.
We are a multicellular organism that, like, from one perspective to the next perspective to the next perspective, dies and then comes back and dies and comes back and dies and comes back. From the cellular level to the bugs that live on us to us to the animals that live on this planet, to the planet itself, to the stars, to the galaxy. Like, all of it dies and comes back.
I see what you're saying. So without religious standpoints, the fact that we have to, in nature, sort of tend to nature itself and the natural...
We are nature.
Right, we are. So, like, we cater to it in the sense that we need to keep...
We have to be a
building.
Servant to existence itself.
So we die. It needed that. That's what it wanted. And then we reborn. Maybe reincarnation exists, maybe not. But something else is reborn, and then that's its will as well. So nature, in a sense, would probably be the God that everybody thinks that they're talking about. That makes a lot of sense.
The concept of reincarnation does sound appealing, especially since when you die, you decompose, and then you essentially become whatever is around you already.
Become nutrients, the cells,
We're breathing in air, we're exhaling air. When we die, we become air.
Right. Well, I'm not a scientist. I don't do much research into this, but what makes sense to me is if you think about it, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And as we are beings of energy, if you're not religious, we don't have souls, we are energy. That's what we're using. We use that, and then when we die, that our energy we can't be destroyed. So what happens with it? You know,
it becomes
everything.
Energy is around us already, so we just become the mass of energy that is around us, which is what I take from the reincarnation perspective is we just become the energy, and then we find a new vessel, and then we become the energy again. We are the energy still, but
it adapts to,
like a balloon. We are a balloon, and when you pop the balloon, the water molecules go back into the air. They evaporate.
It'd probably be the same concept. And scientifically,
we're 75% water, so...
Well, and the theory is that we're made of stardust when the Big Bang happened. You know, we are...
Stars also live and die.
Right, and that's the whole...
That's how we're here.
Concept. So maybe, you know, when we die, our energy needs to go somewhere, right back into the cosmos, right back into the atmosphere itself, you know? Who knows? I have no idea. But I do know, I feel it in my heart, just like you Christians and you Mormons and Muslims, you feel it in your heart. I feel that there is no God, and I am happier for that. I really am.
But submitting to the perspective that life and death are one together, and that when you die, you are just energy, you become more energy. You release the energy that is within this vessel, and then you come back. You don't necessarily come back because you, as Jesse Martinez, does not come back.
Oh, look, he died, and he's back.
That manifestation is not what comes back. You come back, you, as in the energy, just comes back as something else.
Who knows?
You're born.
Yeah, it could be a molecule floating around in the earth. I don't know. Who knows, you know?
My Brandy's cousin, the pregnant one, she had her baby, and I tripped on LSD the night before.
Oh, man.
The night that she was having her baby. So, like, during all of that, we got this text that said, Chloe's in labor.
Wow.
So, that was like, should we do anything? What do we need to do? Do we have to do anything?
You were on LSD, that's great.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Well,
awesome.
like, when you're on LSD, like, all of your synapses are firing. Everything is, like, you're concerned about everything. You're really, like, not a anxious way, more of, like, a loving way. Like, genuinely concerned about the well-being of everybody.
Understandably, of course.
So the next day we went to the hospital and I saw the baby and I got to hold it, and from the perspective of coming down from LSD, holding this form of life, this form of energy in my arms that just was created. Like, it's been growing, but this is the first air that it's taking in. This is like...
Isn't that nice?
It was amazing. And looking in its eyes, like, whatever this is was just born.
It was nothing beforehand. which is crazy to me. That's always been a nuts fucking concept to me, is that, like, I understand where it comes from, where everybody's confused about how this works, you know? We're nothing. We're created inside of a man, a human being.
And it's also reasonable to question what we are and how we came here. It's reasonable to submit to religion if you don't want to question it. But I think that's...
You should question everything you do.
I think it's kind of a cop-out.
Yeah, I agree.
I think my opinion about religion, specifically Christianity, is that is a great story for a decent moral perspective. But you also have to look at the cultural perspectives that you grew up in.
I was just talking about this yesterday as well, yeah, definitely.
Because culture definitely changes over time, so this was a 1,000-year-old story.
Well, think about it.
You can take moral aspects from stories and also live within your culture, but you believing it as, like, the almighty truth, there are many different stories.
Well, I
you could take the Odyssey and think of that as a religious story.
That's true. You could. You absolutely could. I watch a lot of atheist speakers try to debunk the whole religious aspect of everything, and they talk to people of religion, and they tell them why they think things are and things aren't.
I recommend Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins.
I've probably seen both of them. They're just a lot of the things I watch are just in passing. But an interesting point that I've always thought but never put into words, and now that I can, I'm half-ass quoting right now, but America is primarily Christian, Catholic, Mormonism, things like that. All stemmed from the same general belief of the same God, the same morals, except for in the past, things were worse. Like in the Christian belief, if you were to commit adultery as a woman, it was on the woman, not the man, who was committing the adultery as well. You could, and it was law to do this, bring her forth in front of her father's house, have her father watch you stone her to death. That was a law. You needed to do that if a woman was to cheat on you. We don't take that aspect from back then and put it in today, because that's murder. You can't do that. I mean, obviously, when you're cheated on, that sucks, but it's definitely better.
It's not worth killing somebody over.
No, but it was back then, and that was a holy thing.
That's a fascinating perspective to think about.
You just murdered a woman, but because she basically cheated on you, that's okay. And now this day, we have that happen all the time. You don't hear about it a lot, but yeah, people murder for cheating, and that's a sin. Not a sin, but that's against the law now. You can't murder for any reason whatsoever unless it's in self-defense, and even then, that's a sketchy thing. So it's kind of odd to say, but it's bullshit that back in the day when believers were they were crazy about it, you know, not this half-ass stuff that we're talking today where people claim Christianity but they don't go to church and they don't practice a religion whatsoever. They were hardcore about it, and we've taken all of the good stuff from factual evidence back then, even through the Bible. There are some things that did happen. You know, these people just went crazy over religion, and we take them today and we just discard them entirely. We made new laws surrounding what we feel is right about the religion. But if that's part of the religion, you're just cherry picking on it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. The things that you chose to throw away, yeah, they're disgusting. But it never says in the Bible, yeah, choose whatever you want out of this. It's fine. You know, that's the whole thing. So I call bullshit on that. Secondly, we just so happen to be born in the right religion. Because if I'm an atheist, I'm having a son now, and I won't raise him to be anything. I'll never tell him that atheism is the best way to go. I'll never tell him that Christianity. He'll
find
follow
his own way.
Right, exactly. But if I were to tell him, hey, whatever anybody else says, God doesn't exist, they're so impressionable. They believe anything. Anything that you tell them is truth. If you tell him...
But you saying that creates some manifestation of a truth to him.
Right.
Which would be detrimental to him actually learning about truth itself.
But not only that, but when you yell at a child and you say, there's no God, and the child says, why? Why is there no God? And you say, it just is... That's it. You just need to believe that, and if you don't, you'll be punished, whatever. They stick with that for the rest of their lives, because if it was to be a challenged argument, they remember the feeling of the disappointment or the physical effect that they had on challenging the idea.
So they grow up their entire lives not questioning anything, and that's how we raise children in religious culture today. Is they do not question it; it will get you in trouble, and that's the way it is. And then they never question it, even when they're older and they have the ability to question it. Nobody's around to hurt them; they still won't. They still have that feeling.
Yeah.
So we're born into it, and just because we're in America, everybody's primarily Christian, but then you go overseas, to the Middle East or whatever, and they're whatever they are.
They're primarily Muslim.
Right, exactly.
But there are Christians there, but...
Sure. And it's crazy that just going...
There's also Jews.
Yeah, there's a lot. But just going somewhere else, you have a new God, a different God, and you just... Because that part of land believes that, and then you come over here and this part of the land believes this, and that's just the true God, and that's just how it is. That debunks everything for me. Just because you were born into something makes it true. That's not at all true. If you were born into Muslim and you came over here and you were adopted by Christians, now what? Now he believed in Muslim, now he comes over here and now he's a Christian. It's fucking nuts to me.
It's when you're born into a religion, that's a form of indoctrination. I grew up Catholic. I was christened, then I was baptized, then I had confirmation, so I grew up with the Catholic perspective. And I still became a form of an atheist. I'm more agnostic because I question everything, so right. I don't like to submit to an atheist perspective either. I think going through Catholicism, which is very, ritualistic and a very old religion, and then also experiencing baptism on my mom's side, or not...
Mom's a Baptist?
She went to Baptist churches. Lorenzo went to Baptist churches.
Really?
Yeah. So I got baptized at a Baptist church.
Jesus Christ.
And my dad was like, "Why did you get baptized? You're already baptized as a child as a Catholic."
Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday too. To go into another religion, you have to completely abandon the first one. You can't be two religions at once.
So if I were actually following that, then right. I would be a Baptist.
Right, you would be fucking Baptist.
Which is hilarious because I don't submit to any of these religions. It's...
To be spiritual and to be religious are two different things, and I absolutely prefer
when I have conversations with people about that who are religious, they don't understand that concept.
To be spiritual and not have a religion.
Take everything that you value about the religion and take the concept of going to church and God away from it. Everything else can stay the same.
They lose their minds. They don't understand it. It's crazy. But that's what I'm talking about. Even listening to somebody else challenge their ideas growing up and not being able to challenge them, they still can't fathom it. It's still that uncomfortable feeling that they were born to have or that they were raised to have.
I became Wiccan after I was Baptist.
I know. You still wear a pentagram around your neck.
Yeah, this is the same pentagram that I had in high school.
You're a mess of shit, dude.
I am a multicultural being.
Yeah, I definitely. It's okay to be spiritual. It's absolutely okay with that. I believe that there's not one, but I don't have any factual evidence that there is or is not. I believe in the Big Bang, but everybody goes, well, if the Big Bang came out of nothing, then why can't God come out of nothing? Well, because we have factual evidence of how that might have happened, condensed. But we're talking now, you challenge me with that, and I say, where did your God come from? Where did anybody's God come from? What was the start point? What was he? Is there a whole, mess of creators that just live in a community in some other existence where they communicate with each other and exchange notes on how their creations are going?
The Bible says God is love, and what love is pure awareness. When you love somebody, you're giving your undivided full attention to them.
I love you. I'm giving my undivided full attention.
You're looking right into your eyes.
God? Are we God? Are we
God?
having
a moment?
Are we having a God?
We are God.
It's so stupid. No, I don't know. But spirituality is okay because I don't know and you don't know, and we had different ideas on how to cope with that.
Sure.
Some people, I guarantee there are some people out there and they'll never admit it, and it'd be cool if they did, but some people don't actually believe in God, but it makes them comfortable to think that there might be one.
Yeah.
Because death...
I think that's actually most religious people within modern culture today.
I agree with that as well.
Because they understand the unrealistic expectations of a... Did you hear that cough?
I did. That's crazy. No one else is in this house.
Nope. The unrealistic expectations of a being outside of this plane. But actually, when you think about that as well, like, when you think about cells don't know that we exist.
True. But
So
we're made up of them.
thinking about a god from that perspective also is very interesting. It's an interesting thought perspective, because what if there is some being that just decided, oh, I'm going to create this little
Joe
planet.
Rogan kind of touched on it, where he was saying that
I love Joe Rogan's podcast.
Dude, well, it's not his podcast though. It was before his stand-up.
Stand-up?
He was talking. Yeah, he was in a limousine. He was talking about it, and I think it was something along the lines of the Earth is like us. It's a human being, and it's got functioning organs and cells, and then we as human beings are cancer cells, destroying the Earth one by one. As we multiply, we
Not
destroy
necessarily.
it more and more. Well, this was his idea,
okay.
and we're just like us having cancer cells. The Earth would be resembling us, and then we would be resembling the cancer cells that are destroying everything around us. And it's crazy to think that there could be levels where we are also a part of another bigger thing that is being destroyed by something, or and it just goes on and on and on from there. That's a crazy thought too.
Well, when you learn about quantum physics, and when you learn about biology and evolutionary biology, and then when you learn about astrophysics, and like every single thing that you learn, you just learn there's some micro level of something as far as we can currently see, but it probably goes deeper, but we don't have technology to see it yet.
No way. Yeah. And what if there's life on that?
There's quirks, and there's like neutrons and protons and electrons, and then like atoms, and like different levels of different things, and you get further up, and then at some point you get to like fucking squirrels, and you get to us.
Exactly.
And then you get to the planet.
Keep zooming out, you get that.
And then you get to our current galaxy, and then you get to the universe, and then the cosmos.
And that's fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But I've always thought it never stops anywhere when you're thinking about what things are made out of.
As far as we can tell, the universe... I think we actually do know that the universe is round.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I've heard of that, but I don't know.
I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say that the horizon of the universe is the same as the horizon of our planet. So if you keep going, then you'll go...
That's cool. Around and around. But it also is ever expanding.
You can still go further.
But it's crazy, like this recording device that we're using right now, it's made of atoms or whatever, because everything is made of that.
It's made of molecules that are made out of atoms.
Right. And then, but what is an atom made out of? Or is it
the other way around?
I don't know. But
What
what is an atom made out of? What is that made out of?
I think atoms are made out of molecules.
Then what are molecules made? It doesn't stop, but we just can't see how far it goes down. You know what I mean?
Molecules are made out of protons and electrons, I think.
And then what are those made out of? You see, you could continue to go on because...
Shit, I need to revise physics.
So there are answers to that?
There are... I have actually listened to a lot of answers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, yeah, but everything is made out of something. Even the smallest molecules and atoms and protons are made out of something. They can't just be that,
We can go past that, too. There's another level into quantum physics where we're past the molecular and atomic structures.
That's crazy. I should do more research before I start talking.
When you get to that point, you find out that I think it is atoms. Atoms don't have form. They do have form, but it's much more spread out than we can tell when we're first looking at it. So, like, whatever micro... It's like way past micro.
It's fucking crazy.
Form of energy. In this one, they're doing their thing, like spinning around, creating the form, and then they create more form on another level, and then another level, and then another level.
That's crazy.
So when you think about that, we don't actually have a form.
That's nuts. I mean, we're literally
We're just energy.
Atoms and atoms and atoms and atoms, and we can't... But it forms so much that I can't chop through
We become some physical manifestation.
That's crazy. When cutting, because I'm into culinary and food, and I have knives and stuff like that, really, really nice knives. And one day I looked up what is scientifically happening when you cut a cucumber. You separate the cucumbers, but if everything's made of atoms, you're cutting through atoms. So I was looking it up. No, obviously not. The sharpest knife in the world only separates them.
But you're using a specific atomic structure that we created a tool out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
Steel
atoms cutting
is
atoms.
Some atomic structure that we created out of a specific variable of molecules that slices through the specific atomic structure and molecules that form a cucumber.
Correct.
And it separates them into
separate
forms that cannot be put back together.
But that's what I always wondered is why. Why can't they be? They can be separated. They were together once. They could be separated now. Why can't they be put back together?
Maybe they could be. Like if they
Right.
grew in nature, maybe like. Well, I don't know because they're separated from the plant that they grew from itself.
Well, think about geckos. Geckos grow their tails back.
Yeah.
The atoms rebuild.
Well, humans regenerate all the time too. We can actually I think. In the future, once we better understand biology, because we don't understand how the regenerative aspects of humans actually work, we're very much focused on like quick fixes and medication for illnesses and stuff. But the body repairs itself all the time. It's constantly repairing itself. Like if you cut your hand, like I cut my hand here, the paper cut, it's healing itself.
That's a really big scar for a paper cut, dude.
It was a very large stack.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I cut myself all the time. I stabbed myself through my hand right here, and it needed stitches, but it did repair. And I didn't need the stitches, but if I didn't get the stitches, there would have been a really gross scar.
I recently printed something for Mayo Clinic, and it was talking about regenerative health and how the further technology advances and the more we understand about biology, the better we understand regenerative health. I'm not sure what their goal was with this pamphlet thing, but it was interesting to see like a very esteemed health corporation, I guess, institution talk about regenerative health, because that's something that like hippies have talked about. That's something that like Eastern society talks about, like the body healing itself.
True. That's crazy. I don't know, man. Things are weird. Life is weird.
Things are very weird.
We can argue or we can talk about it all we want. Nobody really knows anything, really. And that's crazy to me. That's always been crazy to me, is that
my coworker and I were telling my boss's son is, once you become an adult, you realize adults don't actually know what they're doing.
No, not at all. I mean, on some level, yes.
There is a technical understanding,
but
there is a skill understanding, but from the further we go into some field of understanding, we realize we don't really know
at all. Nothing. And that's nuts.
It's fascinating.
No doubt. All right. I think that's a good hour of talking.
43 minutes.
Is it 43 minutes? I like this song background thing. It's very nice.
Existence.
Yeah. Ugh. This particular version is not very good. Enjoy the background music because it's a new thing that we're going to start doing, I think. These are Our Songs by Elena Avenue. They're very crude demos recorded in a closet. Full band, so they're not the highest quality, but they're good background music. Good background noise for when we're talking. If
you're focused on the conversation, you don't really notice it. You notice that it's there, but you're more listening to the conversation.
There was a couple of times where I was zoning out from what you were saying because I was listening to the music in the background. Yeah. But that's because it's louder to us in our headphones than it would be to anybody listening, which I hope people
I was doing that too. Specifically to LSD, I was like, I like this part. Okay, wait, hold
on. We really like making this podcast. It's the second time we've done it, and it's really fun. And if you would like, if we're ever going to put this on, if you're listening to this, if you want to jump on and talk to us about We really don't ever have set goals to talk about. Just conversation and mind-opening and just, casuality.
The understanding of the universe.
Come on in. You can sit on the couch via next to me or Tyler and talk to us about whatever you want to talk about or whatever you just catch us talking about. And you can put your opinions and views out there. And who doesn't want that, right? We're not judgy. We're not judgmental. We're not scary.
I think we can be judgmental.
Towards Nazis.
Towards perspectives that we think are very aggressive.
What if they're right, though? What if,
like right, like far right?
What if Hitler was right, though? What if, because there was a religious war.
Well, the thing about Hitler is he did have a legitimate, logical perspective for getting rid of Jews. From a statist perspective, there was a point, and from a economic perspective, there was a point, and from a biological perspective, there is also a point. If you want to keep a specific set of genes, you do actually have to stop this group from breeding with this group. I think it became too much, and that's why he started killing them.
It's crazy. From my understanding, what I always thought was that the Jews killed their Messiah, Christ, and that was another whole reason for the extinction of them.
I heard that Hitler's mother was Jewish.
Really?
I don't know if that's true.
I don't either. If you're Zane Smith, you don't think the Holocaust happened at all.
There's a few people who disagree with the Holocaust.
They also think the Earth is flat, too, so that's pretty
I think there is enough video footage and photographical evidence for the Holocaust for that perspective to be completely null and void.
Agreed. Same with those flat earthers, too.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
Well, their perspective is that all of the images that are provided are
Doctored.
3D,
right.
3D rendered, and that we don't have satellites up there, so they're not actually sending us images, which is completely illogical because you use a fucking global positioning system, GPS system, that you use to get from place to place all the time. That is a satellite.
Well, check this out. So I was watching a bunch of flat Earth videos and why they think it is. So if you take this table right here, watch. You take this table right here. What they believe is that in the center is our land, what we walk on and what we're on now. The United States and all the other countries and things like that are right in the center of this. And this part of the table represents ice, the global caps, the ice caps. And what they think is, so one of them was gravity. How can you explain gravity? Because if the Earth was flat and gravity existed, which it does, it would all be pulled to the center, even from the side. So if you tried to go out this way to the side, it would pull you back in, and it would be like climbing a 90-degree hill. So it would just pull you back up, and you'd have to fight that to get to the edge, right? So that was the thing. And what they think is, flat earthers think that nobody's gone past the ice caps, and gravity is actually our Earth moving up and forcing us down to the ground. That's what they believe. So that's what happens. And so that's how they explain gravity. But nobody's ever fallen off the Earth because nobody's ever gotten past these ice caps around the Earth's flat atmosphere. Nobody knows what's underneath it, but they firmly believe that it's flat due to that. And also they feel that NASA is not trustworthy, and all of the photos that they've ever taken ever are doctored to make it look round. I don't know why they would do that.
What about the Japanese space program that also provides images? Or the European space programs that also provide images?
Good
or the
points.
Russian space program that provides images?
Great points.
Or the Indian program.
There it is. Keep going.
Yeah.
Mexico
the
did
Chinese
it once or twice.
program
Yeah.
that also provides images. I don't know. Does Mexico have a space program?
I have no idea. That's me just talking. I'm, what is it called? Free associating at this point. But this guy climbed Mount Everest, which is littered with flags at the top, by the way. It's very depressing.
That's hilarious.
He climbed. It's bad, but he climbed it, and it's so tall. He took a picture.
You get to the top and you put a flag down. You're like,
here.
There's like 300 different.
I'm gonna look this up.
Is there a picture of all the flags up there?
Yeah. This guy took a picture. The reason that I'm showing you this is because this guy took a picture of himself on Mount Everest,
it's literally so high that you can start seeing the atmosphere get dark from space, right? Like you can, yeah, it's fucking up there. But also, what you can see is
people die climbing up.
Yeah, oh yeah,
like
it's
a lot,
bad. You have
all
to,
the time.
There's almost no atmosphere up there. You can't.
You have to
breathe.
bring oxygen tanks.
Exactly. But
it's also
round.
littered with oxygen tanks.
If this was true, really, I didn't know that. Really, if this was true, if you got up to Mount Everest and you could see the ice caps like this, you would be able to see them because that's the tallest thing in the world. It's not exactly in the middle of the world either, so you'd be able to see at least some of those ice caps surrounding. You also wouldn't see a dome. Well, he took this picture. It's fully domed. You can't see any ice caps at all, and it's obviously around Earth. It's very obvious. Yeah, look it up.
Be crazy. You go on a mountain and you could see how the Earth curves.
Yeah. I'm gonna find the actual one. Fat Earth.
Fat Earth. It's a conspiracy, man. The fat Earth.
It's too much calories, man. You know what I mean?
Eats too much. The Earth is spinning at like 30,000 miles or something.
If you believe in the flat Earth, it's not spinning at all.
It's just flat. So flat. As flat as your mom's boobs.
Ew, gross. Ew. Trying to see. I think. Yeah, this is kind of a bit of imaging of it. There's so many flags up there, but look, you can visually see everything curving around. Find a better one. Oh, what happened?
But Jesse, your eyes are curved, so you're only seeing things from the perspective of your eyes.
I'd be really bummed if they were correct about it, though. So many flags. It's kind of depressing. Yeah, I would be so fucking bummed if that was true, because I'd never trust anything ever again. I would never trust anybody on this
Somebody
flat
gets
Earth.
paid to clear up all the flags.
Why would they do? Yeah, right. Why would they tell that lie, though? Why would they claim that it was round? And then why would they need us to believe that so badly?
I've heard it talked about as people want to know that they're right about something, so they'll fabricate some idea so that they have the knowledge that other people don't have.
Right.
That's why conspiracy theories are so appealing, because when you find out something and you don't know if it's true and you keep going, you find out other evidence or things that make you view that perspective as real.
Right.
And then other people don't believe you. You feel like you have some one-up on other people.
I get that. I really do. And they're not hurting anybody by believing in it, honestly. I mean, really all they're hurting
That's
is
arguable.
When
they get into public policy talking about flat Earth, that's detrimental to a functional society.
Yeah.
That's regressive, and we should definitely not appeal to ideas like that.
Right, well, they're not physically harming anyone.
No.
Maybe.
Well, maybe themselves.
Maybe. Earth is flat, who's lying to me. Cut. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, those are just... I can't imagine
Why is it on fire?
That's a really cool picture, actually. Look at this guy. Yeah, I made it. Yeah. Whatever, I don't give a shit.
Snapchatters. I don't have service up here, though.
That can't be true. He's pretty much right next to the...
They put a cell phone tower on Mount Everest.
That'd be pretty cool. I don't know how they get it up there, though.
They have to use like a...
They send a rocket up into space, and then once it gets over, they shoot it down, and then it just sticks into the ground.
Can you fly a plane that high?
I think so.
I would assume
I don't think any plane can go that high. I think you have to get specific planes. Like, I don't think a B-52 is going that high. Hey, kitty. Hey, kitty.
Bomb.
Bomb. Oh, yeah, speaking of that, the whole Syria thing. I know you heard about that.
I actually haven't. Apparently that was really recent.
That was yesterday. No, the day before.
What I knew about Syria thus far was Assad was accused of releasing chemical weapons, which has yet to be found true, I think.
Well,
it was viewed true from the U.S. perspective, but I think the United Nations wasn't sure. I think it was NATO perspective.
Well, what I heard, and again, when we talk about these things, we're not fucking political scientists. We're not scientists at all.
There are so many news outlets and so much information. It's fucking difficult to keep up with it. So
we don't have degrees. We don't do studying like a lot of people do when they talk about stuff like this. We don't know. These are our point of views when it comes to this.
We're trying to understand it as much as anybody else.
That's why we have these conversations and debates and stuff like that. But what I heard was...
What I did know up to this point was the United States started bombing Syria, which is illegal because Congress did not declare an act of war.
Yeah.
There was no actual policy put in place for the United States to bomb Syria. And also, Syria did not ask for it to happen.
Right.
And the reason that the United States has justified bombing was, I think, because ISIS was in Syria.
I think so. Well, what I heard is that they asked for it because he was gassing his own...
citizens.
Right, citizens. And he claimed many years ago that he did not have any chemical weapons.
Yeah.
He said, we don't have any, and then...
What makes me skeptical about that whole situation is Saddam did actually use chemical weapons against his people, but we used that and we used other reasoning, like saying he had weapons of mass destruction, WMDs,
right,
to justify an illegal war in Iraq that is still currently going on.
Was it a civil war?
No, we just invaded Iraq and took out Saddam because he was a puppet leader that the United States propped up, because if he was there, then Russia couldn't have some sort of foothold within the Middle East. Same with Afghanistan. We funded the Taliban. We funded the Taliban, and Osama bin Laden was affiliated with the Taliban. That's how they got all their guns. That's how they got military training. So it's hard to believe what the United States says about anything within the Middle East, understanding that context.
Yeah. And honestly, anything at all.
And, yeah.
At all times.
The government,
it's very scary. I don't know. I think...
What is happening in Syria right now?
I have no idea. I saw some very disturbing images of people. They were gassed. Gas was involved. Some sort of chemical weapon was involved. Whether he did it himself or we did it to them, I don't know. There's claims on both sides, which would be the whole reason we sent the missiles in. As far as I knew, they called us and were like, "We need fucking help," and we're like, "All right, Tomahawk missile. That's what needs to happen." It killed 40 people, as far as I know. The chemical weapon did. Children, everybody. It was disturbing. I saw they posted on Facebook. It was fucking bad, but it killed a lot of people, and that's literally all that I know. And also, I know that at any point there could be retaliations, and I think it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I think we're fucked. I think we just severed ties, obviously, with anybody. I mean, Russia was involved. They had a lot of interest in Syria. They were against us bombing them.
Hillary Clinton wanted a no-fly zone over Syria, which would mean that the United States would shoot down Russian planes. She was also ramping up war against Russia, saying that they were hacking the election and that they were infiltrating the country, and that Putin has been, like, as bad as the United States military...
Well, things I just don't get into.
War machine.
What you're telling me is as far as I know. It's something I should get into, but at the same time, I don't know what to do with the information.
The war aspect is really interesting to me because a lot of people are dying, and we are, like, as somebody who is an American, who lives in this country, if I went to the Middle East, I would be viewed as somebody who is taking part in these acts.
Right. That's why we stay away from the Middle East. It's dangerous there.
It's important to understand how the world views Americans, especially within the Middle East.
The Middle East is dangerous. This is an unpopular belief, but the Middle East is dangerous because of us. We have made it a dangerous place. We have done wrong by them, and now they retaliate every time they see us. It's basically how I see it. We made it a dangerous place. We wronged them so bad and so many times.
I think it can be a dangerous place. It has the potential.
I see nothing wrong with it. I wish I could go there and everything would be fine.
I'm sure you can.
I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know anybody who's ever gone.
I'm sure you can go there and everything would be fine, but the potential for danger is very high.
Yeah, definitely not like here. But no. That's because we have rights to bear arms. Nobody will fuck with us. That's the whole point of rights to bear arms, is that right to bear arms. Second Amendment. That's something I was going to talk about.
The Second Amendment's weird.
Oh, yeah.
It was about, like, muskets.
Yeah, well, the whole point was it was fair because we all had the same artillery. We had the same one gun, which was a musket. And if somebody was firing at you, you had all the right to fire back at them. It was like a duel, back in the old days.
And as far as hunters' rights go, it definitely seems justified to have a gun to hunt.
Right, but for self-protection, I don't...
And self-protection as well. I think you can justify that.
But people don't understand. And as much as I can talk about this and shoot facts, people are not going to understand.
No.
Just because the gun is this much bigger than the pistol, they shoot the same rounds. The only difference is this one shoots it faster.
And reloads faster.
Well, not even... It doesn't even reload faster, because all you have to do with the pistol is go, boom, I'm out. Done. Maybe even cock it back if you have to. But with an assault rifle, it's the same. It's no different at all. People are scared of it because of the way that it looks, but I could easily kill as many people.
Aren't the rounds more...
No. Not at all. If you have the AR-15 is what everybody's talking about. It's a 22 caliber rifle. And a lot of... It's the least popular round because it's not as deadly. It's not as powerful. It's not as crazy. It goes fast out of a rifle versus out of a pistol, but it is the smallest and goes the least fast out of any weapon. But the AR-15 shoots 22s. It's the smallest and least fast to go out of a rifle. But that's the one everybody's afraid of. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because we're not trying to ban pistols, but yet the pistol shoots the same exact... A lot of pistols shoot 22s.
And more people die from pistols.
Right. So, but aside from that, I have a lot of, and we'll talk about it in another podcast, but aside from that right now, what we were just talking about, the government is sucking ass right now, and it's just constant, nonstop. Every time I hear about something from the government, it's a negative thing that's affecting our society really badly. What is there to do about it? There's not going to be a militia that goes up and starts killing people. Higher ups and things like that, and important people. It's not going to happen. And even if it does happen,
what is the point in that?
There's no point. Exactly. The right to bear arms.
Infiltrate the system and logically get your ideas up.
Right.
The people have to agree with it.
There was... Man, I wish I had more information on any of this, but there was a time when I think the story was the government was trying to take property from a farmer or a group of farmers, right? And they band together with assault rifles, quote unquote. And that's in the Constitution. That's legal. The entire point of having the firearm is if your government is trying to wrong you, you have the right to defend yourself. They're pointing a gun at you for the wrongful act of the law. You can defend yourself with the same weapon, which is why the whole point was to have now. Police officers can have assault rifles.
It's very difficult in situations like that because the police are the state enforcers. The state as in the state or the state as in the federal government, whichever. But they're the enforcers of the law, and if their perspective is that you're not following the law and you're also threatening their lives if you're pointing a gun at them.
But if you have a group of officers with assault rifles and the same amount of people on the other side with... I don't even want to call them assault rifles anymore because there's no such thing. with rifles, with weapons, with guns pointed at them, they would be, everybody in that entire situation would be stupid to even fire one shot, because that's mass murder right there. So just having it in a mass group of people who were responsible and have the right to own those weapons, to defend their property or to defend whatever they're defending, the constitutional rights that they have, if we band together and just held them, had them, and threatened, I mean, it would do one of two things. It would either fix this problem altogether, because nobody's taking guns away from people who want to use them or are going to use them to protect the right to have them, or it's going to start an all-out war between the government and the citizens of the United States. It's going to cause martial law. And that's what we're afraid of, is the government. We're not afraid of that, and that's what frightens me, is that we're not afraid of martial law, because if they take our guns away, martial law could happen at any time, and there is no one going to stop you, because they have the big, scary guns, and we have the small, little guns.
Martial law happened in Boston after the Boston bombing.
Did it happen? I didn't know that. I think we should band together. But I say that, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go start a militia right now. We got too much going on right now. I think all the time. I'm having a kid right now. I have a fiance, a wife, and I think I want to stop all of the badness in the world, but I can't do it, because I have so much writing on me making money and things like that. So as much of an anarchist that I think I am, I can't...
I don't think we need to use guns, and I don't think we need to use physical violence to do it. I think we need to use ideas. And people could die based on their ideas.
Yeah.
But I think ideas are the most influential method.
We're too argumentative against other people's ideas. I mean, people are so locked up.
We don't have to be argumentative, though.
Well, I think we kind of do, because if you have a different point of view, like if you're on the side of banning gun control, you're scared, and fear is the strongest thing when it comes to an idea. So
fear is a great motivator and also a deadly tool.
So you can try all you want to calm the fear from these people who are for gun control and for banning specific guns. It's not going to work, because they are so scared. People do not want the responsibility of defending themselves. They don't like it. They don't want to be put in a situation where they have to choose their life or another person's. They would rather die than take the life of another person, or be held responsible for doing so. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, but ideas.
I'm very uncertain on the gun issue.
I'm pretty certain. I don't think there needs to be... I think we just... That kid, the whole reason this started in the first place, that one kid in that one school was going to do that whether he had an assault rifle with him or not.
Yeah.
He had plans in his head to murder everyone in there.
But the perspective of the anti-gun movement is he could kill a lot less people with a knife.
But it's still killing. He's still going to do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
but he's not going to kill as many people, and he's more likely to get shot by the police who have guns.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because how many people, even with a knife...
Did you hear that the police officer that was there, like the first responder police officer, did not go in the building?
Really? Well, he didn't. Nobody shot him.
He waited for backup.
Nobody shot him.
That's not protocol.
No. Nobody shot him. They tackled him, they arrested him, now he's spending his life in prison. He's got 2 life sentences.
He left the building. He was gone. He left with the students that were leaving, as if he wasn't even doing it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they caught him in the neighborhood.
Really? These are reasons why you look these things up. You can't take everything that you see on social media for face value.
Well, as it's happening, there's so many different news outlets there's mixed information, and that's why when like events are happening and you're trying to hear the news immediately, you get mixed stories.
Yeah.
Because so many people are getting different information because it's unfolding. The story is unfolding, so the details are not completely there.
Right. People jump to conclusions and call it news, and
not only that, but there's many people fabricating evidence and using fake statistics and trying to propagate their own ideology as if that's the truth. So there's many different sides, there's many different perspectives, and it's difficult to get legitimate factual information. It's just hard.
Yeah, everything's kind of hard. We're coexisting, at the very least. I mean, you and me personally and our families are not tied into all of this. We have a small decision in...
Well, my dad's a cop, so I kind of am tied into it.
Well, he's tied into it. And then
my brother's in the military,
yeah,
so...
that's true. Yeah, you're more tied into it than I am.
Yeah.
But,
it's not... I have a very, from the perspective of the left, right-leaning family, which isn't entirely inaccurate, and I'm somewhere in the center. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the left, and I'm looking at the right, and I'm like, I don't know. Some of what you're saying is correct, and I know some of it is completely just fake bullshit. Right. And some of the right's perspective is also correct, but they're also not considering some of the things the left brings up because it doesn't fit within their ideology.
Yeah. I fucking know, man.
You know what I do know, though? I need a fucking cigarette. So I think we should...
Been an hour.
It has been an hour, and these are going to be an hour.
Thank you. The conclusion of Your Thoughts.
Thank you for joining me and Tyler, or Stumpy, for this Your Thoughts podcast. We did a lot of rambling. We had a lot of good ideas. We had a lot of bad ideas. Some misinformation. But, hey, if you like this kind of shit and you want to join us or you just want to listen to us, let us know. And we will catch you on the flip side.
I knew you were going to say that.
All right, take it easy, guys. All right, take it easy, guys. All right, take it easy, guys. All right, take it